Throughout my short span covering Love and Deepspace and shilling it to all my friends and content creator peers, I've always said that the community is very supportive and give love and flowers to those that praise the game, support its message, and represent it in a positive light. And I stand by that claim full-heartedly. I do truly believe that the majority of players that consume content are very respectful. However, that doesn't mean that there isn't toxicity within the community. And boy, I've realized that people can be extremely toxic here. Simply favoring one of the love interests over the other and making public edits about them, if found by the right people, will result in a flood of toxic remarks about how their ally is dogshit and they're stupid for having them as a favorite. So would you believe me that there have been groups of people mass reporting Xavier posts to the point that even those posts on the official Love and Deepspace account got removed? So let me give you some context to what exactly has been happening here. I want to preface this by saying I can't speak Chinese, Mandarin, I can't translate well, but I have done my best to figure out what exactly has transpired here. So, Xiaohongshu is the CN social media site, and it's a place where a lot of fan content about Love and Deepspace gets posted by users. Let's roll back time and go back to the Misty Invasion release. Yes, the infamous release. For the first time, we getting an event with all 4 boys in a steamy one-on-one scenario. It's the biggest drop yet, so of course people flood to the comments to show their support for their favorite. And then the individual PVs for each of the boys dropped. Now, here's a little insight into the CN fandom. So it turns out people are very, very competitive and fiercely want their favorite allies to be number 1 and most popular. And they achieve this by making sure their favorite ally has the most comments and likes. Whoever has the highest stats is the best, so people will make hundreds of comments in support of their favorites. But this turns out it's the perfect playground for the toxic individuals to sow the seeds of hate. Xavier has been apparently an active target for haters for months, and this time it literally resulted in his cancellation. Enough people reported his Misty Invasion PV that it got removed by the official page, which is crazy. Honestly, to me, it's insane that mass reporting would lead to an instant takedown, rather than spark a manual review to see why the abnormal reporting is occurring. Though, thinking about it, it's probably some kind of failsafe to make sure that genuinely harmful content gets removed as quickly as possible and has to be appealed to be reinstated. But I guess people false flagged this and triggered that exact failsafe. And well, no more Xavier. But eventually, some time passed and the video got reinstated. But the comments were not yet brought back. This, of course, meant that Xavier was now lost in this arbitrary popularity contest. And to the CN community, that is unacceptable. And they cannot let the false flaggers win this war. This is indeed a call to action for the Xavier girlies to rise up and take control of the situation. Their goal? Total domination. Not only would they band together and leave a comment again on his PV, but they would comment like their lives depended on it. To support their star, Xavier would go from being cancelled, lost in popularity, to being the biggest shining beacon of hope. Comments flooding in until eventually, within the space of an afternoon, he became number 1. Xavier officially went from 0 to hero, the best boy indeed. You might think some of this is crazy, and I tend to agree. The lengths people will go to protect their favorite fictional man is incredible, but we have to acknowledge this kind of stuff happens in every fandom, when there is an acute focus on small subsets of characters, especially as romantic interests. It wasn't just Xavier who suffered a cancellation though. Prominent artists and fan accounts either had their posts deleted or their whole account and profiles got outright banned, which is extremely concerning. It's one thing for an official page to have the protection and power to get a poster account reinstated, but it's another thing for a normal user to appeal and get their work reinstated. Artists especially use social media for commissions and promotion, so it can directly impact their work. Mass reporting anyone is of course just a really dumb thing to do unless there is genuinely harmful content. I think it's perfectly valid to dislike on one of the allies and even to publicly talk about why. But it's another thing to go to someone else's post and call them awful things because they have a different take on what their favourite fictional man is. At the end of the day, this is just a game. It's not real life. And I will always be an advocate for individuals not to get too personally invested into it. And I will always be an advocate for individuals not to get personally invested too much and to the extent that it will start to affect your real life, real relationships, and long-term feelings. If you're finding yourself getting angry or upset at other people's comments about your favourite ally, make sure to consider if your following actions are reasonable. Mass reporting, sending hate is never okay. One of my criticisms of the game is actually its handling of its official community spaces. I've seen numerous times that their Discord or Reddit has left hate threads of some of their allies being left up for far too long without removal and moderation. I've even seen hate threads about other content creators being left up for days. Heck, there was even one about me that was sitting in the official server for like a good 10 hours before it was brought to attention. If hate is allowed to foster at the heart and core of the community, it's very easy for it to spread, and we don't want to make it easier for the haters to brigade and false flag any further. But that kind of summarizes the situation with Xavier. I'll try and go deeper into the CN rabbit hole and find out what exactly is going on. If you're someone from that community, I'd actually love to get in contact because of course my access to information from that side is pretty difficult as someone not familiar with the language. Xavier's birthday is soon, so I hope all of the girlies will eat well when he arrives, and he has my full support. I appreciate y'all for sticking around with this video and watching and subscribing and do all that amazing things. If you've enjoyed this video, if you have any, comments, something you want to add to this conversation about Xavier, please feel free to leave a comment below. I really love how detailed you guys leave comments. It makes reading comments actually very enjoyable. I know that's very rare for creators to say about comments, but I genuinely love reading the in-depth comments that you guys leave. So please feel free to, and let's have a discussion. Remember to like this video, subscribe if you want more. Come and check out my Discord if you want a place to talk about Love and Deepspace. I am there all the time. And I will be streaming tonight, 7 PM UK time, where we're going to be playing some Wuthering Waves and then getting all our weeklies done and all that before the reset of Love and Deepspace. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.